Good morning, it's July 25th. It's Monday, so this will be along the creek in some fashion. I think I'll do a kind of a figure eight thing here. A little different than I sometimes do. So instead of going straight to the footbridge, we'll go straight to the dike. Along Leopold Crescent to start with, and then whatever that road is by the time it gets over there. Doing a bunch of work one block over. I'm not sure why they had the road blocked off. It's cloudy, and there is supposed to be rain coming within the next 3 hours, says the weather app. Hopefully not within the next hour. It's always annoying when it comes when you're halfway through your hour-long walk. And it is Monday, so back to, well, I worked all weekend, but Monday is a different version of that. Did a newsletter, did a podcast, did some editing. Now it's Monday, and I'm going to do some editing, work on publishing. One of the things about being a freelancer, you just use whatever time you have to do whatever it is you need to get done. And sometimes you get it done, sometimes you don't get it done. There's always more to do. Hey, here's another house for sale if you want to live in the neighborhood. This is Leopold Crescent we're on here. I'm walking down the middle of the road at the moment because it's quiet. So we're going to go straight on down. Leopold goes that way, and this road continues this way. By Kirk and Vancouver. We're going to go straight on down to the dike at the end of this road, and then follow it for a ways. '18th, that's what it is. I knew that. It's Henderson Terrace over here, built in 1913. So now well over 100 years old. Modern house on this side. I've walked by many a time. With a minimalist garden here. No grass. Oof! But an unexpected dip in the sidewalk. So it's interesting landscaping. I don't know if it's easier or harder to care for. I don't know what would be involved. Presumably the gravel keeps the weeds down up to a point, but at some point one would think they'd start to poke through. Making good progress in editing the stories for Shapers of Worlds Volume 3, the new anthology. I just edited the one by James Morrow just this morning. He's a major author who will be part of this anthology. I'm not sure how many more I have to go, maybe a dozen or so. I still have to write one and still haven't decided what I'm going to write, so I really should get on that. I'm going to end up being the holdup here for the whole thing if I don't write my story. Garnet Street, where I used to live. Been in this house. That wasn't mine. Mine's 3 houses down on this side. Still there. Hasn't been replaced by a big modern one. Even though quite a bit of it has been. But if you go down here and take a look at it. That one right there, 2617, the little one in the middle. That's where I lived when I first moved to this neighborhood. A long time ago now. since I lived there. I'm kind of surprised it's still there. I rented it, but it was sold after that. But I guess whoever bought it has kept it up. It seems to be in good shape. It's just a little box of a place. 2 bedrooms, both of which opened directly off of the living room, which was open to the kitchen, and the bathroom opened off of the kitchen. All in a neat little rectangular package, no hallways, and then a basement, but an unfinished basement. So I don't know how many square feet it was. It was big enough for me as a bachelor. I quite liked it. Then I got married, and we bought a new condo, and then we moved into the house, and so. But I did like it. It was during my bachelor days, it was definitely my favorite place I had as a bachelor. I guess I only lived there about, let me think, well, maybe it's 5 or 6 years. I was there quite a while, actually. Okay, here's the creek. So this fulfills my promise of walking along the creek. It's very still this morning, cloudy, warm, about 19 or 20, I think. Not getting much warmer than that. Went to a football game last night. It was a beautiful night for football. Unfortunately, the Riders lost. They had a COVID outbreak, so they were missing some players, including our main quarterback, Corey Fajardo. And although the defense did their best, the offense was kind of useless, and we lost to Toronto again because they lost to them in the last game they played. So and there's another game this Friday. I think it's Ottawa. So I'll be at that too. The stadium is not as full as it was in the pre-pandemic days, and it's hard to say why that is. We didn't use our tickets even when games started last year. We always sold them or gave them away for one reason or another, and just because there aren't people in the seats doesn't mean they haven't sold a lot of those seats to season ticket holders. So it's hard to say exactly. Creek looking quite peaceful and placid this morning. Elphinstone Street Bridge over there. Don't know what they're looking at. Birds maybe? I don't see anything special down there. Morning. You can tell the creek is high again. There's a bit of a weir down there too, and you can barely see where it is. So. The creek continues to be high. I'm going to want to jaywalk here. There should be a crosswalk right here because there's a sidewalk on the other side, but they didn't put a crossing here. It's up at that corner. But there's not that many people, so. Art Gallery of Regina, Messages from the Rocks, Stories of the Invisible. Intriguing. That's one of the things in the Neil Buckwell Civic Arts Centre up here is the Art Gallery of Regina, little gallery. People doing exercisey things over there. I've never seen anybody there before. And there's a little bit of artwork where it lines up right there. This is for Frisbee golf here. bit of artwork there. That's the Neil Buckwell Civic Arts Center in front of us. Various studios, art classes offered there. I've done a show in there. A couple of performances of one sort or another. Both times for annual meetings of Regina Lyric Light Opera, as it was then, now Regina Lyric Musical Theatre. Early on when I was very early on when I was involved with the organization, we did Trial by Jury by Gilbert and Sullivan just for the annual meeting. We did that in there. And then a couple of years after that, my a cappella group that I was in, Midnight Sun, performed at an annual meeting. Memorable because I wasn't dating Margaret Ann, my wife at the time, but she was on the executive with me. And one of the songs we did was Barbara Ann, and so I changed the words to Margaret Ann, and we did Margaret Ann. So maybe that's why we're married now, I don't know. It's not impossible, but it contributed at least. I don't know if we were Midnight Sun then or Midnight Septet. We had a couple of names before we settled on Midnight Sun. We started with 7 people, then we went to 6, and then our most long-lasting configuration was 5. So with 7, we were Midnight Septet, which is not exactly a catchy name. But then we just went to Midnight Sun once we were down at 6, I think, and kept it for 5. Put out a CD, not a CD, put out a tape. Since we didn't actually get the rights to record any of that music, it was something we only sold to friends and family, basically. But I still have it. We don't sound too bad. And that was, from the time I moved up here, so about 5 years, I guess, that was active. It seemed longer at the time. And then I think 93 was our last concert, about the same time I quit my job and became a full-time freelancer. We did some pretty good-sized concerts. We had equipment, a mixer and microphones, amp, all that stuff. We had a costume. We wore not multicolored, each one was a solid color, but they were different colors. Silk shirts, which we got from Randy River, I remember that. Black pants. That was our outfit. I still remember some of the songs, or the bass part, and after all this time. I had a couple of solos. I used to do All the Birds Have Been Blue, They Don't Know What to Do, that one, which was recorded by Huey Lewis in the News, I believe. And I was also I did a spiritual, Precious Lord Took My Hand, as a solo. And and then I had various solo lines here and there. I actually did the arrangement for one of the songs. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was it's on the tip of my tongue. It's that Will Wheaton movie about them finding the dead body. Stand By Me. That's it. And that was the song. I did our arrangement of that. I arranged it, which was fun as well. And yet, I did all that. Never arranged a song since. Did it successfully. Knew what I was doing. But I've never done it since. I've never had any reason to. I always thought I'd write songs, but I haven't really. In fact, I thought at one point I'd write a musical. I started it, but I didn't get very far. Hello. Trying to read your name because again the light in my eyes are a bad combination. Oh, savage. Ooh, dear. Oof. Watch out for those unexpected declines in your path. I was going to write this musical based on my short story, The Dragon Slayer, which is, I did not, now that I think about it, I did not put that short story in my collection of short stories. Wonder why. Forgot about it? Didn't think it was very good? I don't remember my decision-making process. This plant is encroaching on the walking path for sure. I'm going to go up over the Louvain and then come back along the creek on the other side, so that's kind of the path I'm following here. I had said a figure 8, but I don't think it's going to be a figure 8 the way I've decided to do it. The only song we ever did with musical accompaniment was Lean on Me. We had a drum track, or bass drum track. Sometimes in our lives we all have pain. We have to carry something like that. Is that the words? Close. Anyway, lean on me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. So, anyway, if I sing too much, I'll get a copyright hit. I picked one up Canada Day because it picked up background music across the lake that somebody was performing. The algorithm recognized it, put a copyright strike on the, which doesn't mean much usually. They just means that the copyright holder, if they choose, can run ads on your content and you don't get any money. You can't monetize it, but they can. But good luck monetizing this. I have 454, I think, last time I looked, subscribers. Most walks get under 100 views, maybe around 100 if you count the people who watch it live and the people who watch the replay. So the total number is certainly piling up. It's well over, since I started, it's well over 75,000 now. I got a notice when it went to 75,000 total views. But I have to get 1,000 subscribers before I can monetize it myself. And after well over a year now, I'm at 454. So even if it keeps growing, I'm at least another year, maybe longer, before I get to 1,000 subscribers. Be nice. Tell your friends. Have them subscribe. I'm actually feeling a drop or two of rain, but I'm hoping it doesn't amount to any more than that because I am not even at the halfway point of my walk. I don't want to turn around just yet. Apartment buildings here. Fairly new ones. I remember when they were being built. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago. We're headed to this park over here and then up to the corner of Louvain and 13th. flowers in front of that house. So over here, this little park will take us right to the corner of Louvain and 13th. I'm going to go over to the Italian club and then walk back along the creek from there, is the plan. No bin. Good morning to you too. There's the Louvain Drive. Feeling more sprinkles. I really hope it doesn't get any worse because I'm stuck now. I'm too far away to make any difference what I do. I will get wet if it starts to rain, and there's not much I can do about it. No shelter out here. They're stopping, which probably means I missed the light and I'll have to wait a long time at the corner. It's okay. Just a little pocket park here on the corner, buffering the residential area there in the Louvain. Keep down the traffic noise. I always run into dogs, multiple dogs usually. Yep, timed that just about as bad as it can be as far as getting across here. This can be a long wait. However, it will change eventually. So looking up the Louvain, there. We're going over there, down the Louvain in that direction. Airport's over there. $14, $13, $12. I can count it down on the crosswalk on the other side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there'll be a bit of a delay. There we go, yellow, and then we'll get our green. Unless there's a left turn signal. I'm not sure there is. Nope, there isn't. Off we go. This building on the corner is some kind of city works building. This sidewalk was all built since I started doing the walks. Wasn't here when I started back about 15 months ago. Shared pathway. In other words, watch out for bicycles. They should watch out for you. And it's raining a little harder. Still not enough to really get me wet, but enough to make me think I might yet, because it does look darker in the west there. Oh well. Again, there's really nowhere to go here. I'm not going to go sit under that little playground thing in the top of the slide. Wait out the rain, because it's supposed to rain all day, so one way or the other I have to keep going. Kind of a post truck just went by. This is York Street. Now I could go down there and potentially cut it a little shorter. Maybe since it's starting to rain, I'll do that. I was going to go all the way to the Italian Club, but I think I'll cut off a couple of blocks here. My weather app said it wasn't going to rain right away. No, it's not raining hard yet. It was wetter this morning. It rained a bit harder just before we got up, I think. It's not supposed to, pour today, but it is supposed to be, I don't know, last I saw 2 to 4 millimeters total or something like that. I hope it doesn't do too much, because every bit of rain delays the work they're doing in our backyard for the new deck. Oh, why don't we go through the vacant lot just to be different? To the alley. Up here is the dike that I'm headed to. Over there is the curling club, one of the curling clubs. There's another dog who's off his leash, which he's not supposed to be. There is an off-leash dog park over there, but not on this side. Now I either have to go over to the end of the road where I intended to be anyway, where that dog is running loose. He looks friendly. Or I have to climb up here where it's all covered with weeds and possibly thistles. I think I'll go on down to the little path and take my chances. So maybe he is on a leash. He's on a very, very long leash. That's what it is. Good. Not running free at all. Hello. He's looking at a manhole cover for some reason. There's the off-leash dog park. And there's also a little golf course over here. And here's the creek again, which I will now walk beside all the way back. Getting sprinkled on as I go. If you look in the water now, you can see the rain. If you look close. Yeah, if you look right in there at the reflection, you can see how much it's raining. Not a lot, but I can certainly feel it. All those little purple flowers along here are thistles. That's what I did not want to wander into with my bare legs. They are not pleasant on bare legs, I know from experience, as a kid especially. Oop. It's baby ducks and a mama duck. Again, that's somewhere over there is the golf course, par 3. I think it has sand greens, this one, if I remember right. I've never seen anybody playing it, and I know it's there. I often walk by the par 3 on this side of the other side of the Louvain, which is a nicer course. Of course, we're looking directly towards the airport. Can't really see it from here, but it's right in that direction. And there's various business things over there. FedEx is over there somewhere, close to the airport, which makes sense. I've gone over there more than once to mail something, or FedEx something, or pick something up. But most of it is hidden behind the dike. Those little trees over there on the golf course, I believe. I might cut off some loops in the park too, walk directly around alongside the creek, rather than follow the curvy path. This is a longer walk than I normally do anyway, so it'll still work out to about an hour, I think, by the time I get back. Maybe a little under. Coming up to the bridge here, under the Louvain. Ooh, I am hoping the Pasqua Street Bridge is not still flooded. The underpass was flooded last time I came along here, and that was only Wednesday, I think. If it is, I'll have to go up and over. Not the end of the world. I am slow. So here's the Louvain Bridge. 4 lanes, this one. So 2 spans. There's a jogger. That one doesn't flood as often as the Pasqua Bridge does underneath. This will also take us by the weir up here, which I looked at on Wednesday, and it was, you can tell how high the creek was by, there's more patch of thistles. You can tell how high the creek was by the fact the weir was almost swallowed by the water. It's just kind of a disturbance in the water. It looks a little lower than it was then, so I think the Pasqua Bridge should be okay. You can actually see the weir now. On Wednesday you couldn't. Don't walk over there. I think there it is. Through the trees. Raining just a little bit harder all the time. Still not what you'd call a downpour, but Much more definitely rain than it was when I first felt the drops. Oh, there's a better look at the rear. So yeah, I'm going to definitely shorten my walk along the creek by taking the most direct route, I think. So yes, I'm on Instagram at Edward Willett Author. EDWARDWILLETTAUTHOR, Edward Willett Author. I'm on Twitter at eWillett, EWILLETT. I'm on Facebook at Edward.Willett. I'm on LinkedIn too as Edward Willett, I think. Or if there's a dot in there or not, I don't think so. I'm everywhere, even on some more obscure ones. And of course, I'm on YouTube at Edward Willett. Yeah, this was flooded when I came back on Wednesday. It's close, but it's got an inch or two to spare there. And if you look, you'll see the rain on the water. Not a huge amount, but definitely present. I think it's let up again. All the same, I'll take the dirt path right along the creek instead of the windy path through the park when I get up here a little further. It's not always still this green this late in July, so it's another sign that we've had a nice moist summer. Nice from the plant's point of view, as I said. Very annoying from our point of view of wanting to have a deck built. We had 2 inches of rain just when they were about to really get going on it, which turned the back into a mud hole. It's dried up some, but we keep getting more rain. Not just a deck, we're also building a small extension with a little bathroom in it, so we have a downstairs bath, half bath, which we've needed for a very long time. Much nicer when you have people visiting. You don't have to send them up the stairs. And you know, our friends are getting older, as are we, so we're kind of thinking of the time when going up the stairs will be more difficult than it is right now. On the other hand, that looks way too muddy to go that way, so I guess I will follow the path. Even here, there's a puddle I got to get around. It goes all the way over there. It goes quite a ways into the water here. I can see it. Squishing right here, but I don't think I'm going to step in an actual puddle if I'm careful. Watch where I'm going. Oh, there we go. There's water standing right there. There's no good way around that, to tell the truth. Maybe it's shallow enough to just go through without getting my feet wet. It's fairly shallow, so if I'm very, very careful, maybe it won't go over the rubber of my runners. Yeah, I think I'll be all right. It'll be way wetter in the water than it was there, in the grass, I mean. All right, Charles. Well, give it 4 months. We'll be back to the snow and ice. Right? August, September, October, November. Yep, 4 months. Possibly 3 if it's a bad year. Or 3.5. But 4 for sure. Well, almost for sure. There'll be snow and ice everywhere again. You can already see the nighttime temperatures are starting to dip lower than they were. We're into single digits some nights now. Celsius, not Fahrenheit. It can easily frost in August, late August. Doesn't do it on a regular basis, but it certainly can. And then in September for sure, first frost is typically sometime in September. By the time of our anniversary, September 27th, our 25th anniversary this year, it will almost certainly have frosted and killed the flowers. It's always hard to remember that this time of year. These long, warm summer days. Not that it's terribly warm today, 21 for the high today, which is just pleasant, but it has been. We had one day up at 36 or 37, which is just shy of 100 Fahrenheit. And a few days in the 30s, so 80s, 90s, high 80s, mid 90s. It is warming up again after this into the sort of the 80s Fahrenheit, mid 20s, high 20s Celsius. Mid 80s, I guess. 38 is 100. More or less. And so, say about 33, 32, 33, somewhere along there would be 90 Celsius. So I guess low 80s is what it's going to be in Fahrenheit, low to mid 80s coming up again. But I don't see any thing pushing the higher end in the forecast anyway. Do I stream every day? Not quite. I usually miss a couple of days a week, so about five times a week, the way it has been going recently. Usually I miss one day on the weekend for sure. I just like to take it off, and there's usually a lot of errands to be run on Saturday, so. And then sometimes in the middle of the week I just get too busy or the weather's bad. Although when I started doing this, I did about 180 in a row without missing a day. Okay, you always have to cross the footbridge. In this case, we'll have to cross 2 because I'm about to go to the south side of the creek, and then I'll be coming back over to the north side of the creek, which is where we live, once I get down to the next footbridge. Here we go, looking to the east and looking to the west. This direction is south, more or less.
Good morning.
He warned me, which is good. think when I get home, I'll focus on my own writing for a bit. I have a publisher interested in a middle grade book that needs rewriting, though, to meet their family-friendly standards. It was a little too dark for their taste, so I'm doing that. And then hopefully they'll take it. That would be nice. I could publish it myself through Shadowpaw Press, of course, but it's always nice to have things published by other people. And hopefully somebody that's better at selling middle grade. I wouldn't know exactly what the best way was to go about it, and they've had quite a bit of experience at this point, so I'm quite good at publishing. Marketing, if you measure it by the number of books sold, I'm not very good at it, apparently. But I've got my new novel from Daw Books coming out on October 18th. Only an ebook, which is unusual. It's The Tangled Stars. It's a humorous far future outer space caper. Something like that will work. With a talking cat who becomes the starship captain at one point, so, gotta like that. And the cat's on the cover. I told them, whatever you do, make sure there's a cat on the cover. And there is, looking very catty. Cover's a little different, I think, because they're focused on the ebook market with this one. So it's simpler than some, but very eye-catching, and I like it. And my name's really big on it, which is nice. And it's spelled right, always a good thing. The artist initially spelled it wrong, but I corrected that first thing. That's so common. That second T gets dropped off of Willett all the time. Rain is coming down a little harder again. I'm still 20 minutes probably from home. 15 for sure. Still very light, still just a drizzle, or spitting, or spattering, or whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely heavier than it has been yet on the walk to this point. So I will be glad to be home where there is fresh coffee awaiting me. Here's the Horseshoe Club for all your horseshoe needs. Horseshoe playing needs. I don't think you can get a horse shot there. I've never seen somebody playing there once, all of the times I've walked by it, but they're probably there at times I don't do my walks. Should check out their website. Should take up horseshoes. It would remind me of my roots in the South. All the old guys, my uncles and great uncles, people like that, playing horseshoes and dominoes. They wouldn't play cards because cards were the devil's. But you could play dominoes. Play the same game with dominoes practically, for all intents and purposes, 42. They're all basically the same game with trumps and all that kind of thing. But because cards were used in gambling, cards were frowned upon. By some people. The other thing then we played was Rook, which is a card game, but it's not the cards they use in like poker, so it was okay. Played a lot of Rook. Our university choir, the Harding University a cappella chorus, we had Rook tournaments on every course tour that we'd play on the bus while we were, trundling along for hours. One of my best partners was our girl, Eve, was her name, who gave our pitches because Eve was blind and Eve had perfect pitch. So she would just pick the pitch out of the air. We didn't need anybody to use a tuning fork or a pitch pipe. And she was a great Rook player. She had to remember everything. You just had to say the name of the card as you played it. And she had a special set of cards with the braille on one corner. So she would deal from the opposite corner. She said she did, and we all believed her. And then when she was playing, she could feel her cards and see what she had in her hand. And you would call out the card as you played it. And that way she was able to keep track of the game. And she was very good. As I said, she was my partner sometimes, and good partner she was, too. Those were the days. Okay, the rain is getting harder. I'm still 10 minutes from home. Nothing I can do but keep moving. I should be able to remember her last name, but I just remember Eve. I'll be singing with a choir again this fall, finally, after a couple of years without one. There's a self-directed ensemble called Wascana Voices that I auditioned for, and I'll be in it, so looking forward to that. They do challenging music, mostly a cappella. They're a small group, I think they're about 15 total. And I've seen them perform a few times. I thought that'd be cool to sing with. So when I noticed they were looking for a bass, I came out and I'm in. So that'll mean rehearsals every Sunday night, starting in the fall. But that's the downside. I love singing. I'm not a big fan of rehearsing, but I love singing. You can't get to the one without the other. And I've sung, in addition to my university choir, I've sung in a lot of choirs over the years. Regina Philharmonic, University of Regina Chamber Singers, and the Canadian Chamber Choir, which is a national auditioned choir. I did 3 projects with them, I think. They call them projects. I'm still on their roster, I think, but it seems at this point I've probably aged out of any likelihood of being part of the choir again. I was always the oldest person in it, even when I was doing it, so that won't have changed. There's Waterfall Park over there. A bit of waterfall coming from the sky right now. And I sing second bass usually in ensembles. Blue notes. Although I have a pretty good upper range these days, better than I had when I was younger. Range-wise, my voice is as good as it's ever been. More dogs and more rain. Morning. You see there's quite a bit more rain visible on the creek now than there was earlier. And the road is beginning to look wet. So we got to go over the bridge in about 3-4 blocks. Then I'll be home out of the rain. But until then, I will just get wet. Yeah. It's not just drizzling anymore. Now it's light rain, but rain. Hopefully it doesn't drop on the camera lens, fog things up. I'm wet anyway from sweating, so I suppose it makes that much difference. Okie dokie, over another footbridge. Canada Post, you see people actually carrying umbrellas. It's raining enough now. Got a little shelter under here while I stop to look at the creek again. So there's the looking west, the ducks in there with they don't mind the rain. It's like water off a duck's back. And then if we look over here, looking east, Alright, I think we will... Do I follow the dike this time? Is that more direct? It's not bad. We'll follow the dike. It's exposed, but oh well. Besides, there's some more dogs. A little bit of shelter occasionally under one of these trees. We'll go down on these steps, I think. I'll go to the next one since it's very that way. Garden keeps getting taller and taller. There's some really tall sunflowers down there. Here's our steps up here. And we're like 3 blocks, short blocks. Dove, I think. Yeah. A few trees we can walk under. Careful on these stairs. I have big feet, and sometimes the heel gets caught under the lip of the stair behind it. That can make me almost trip, so to be careful about that. I think you can see that the sidewalks and roads are wet now as the rain continues. Except under the trees, there's still dry patches because it hasn't rained that much for very long yet. Picket fence. A traditional white picket fence. Two more blocks. There's the Bavarian house, I like to call it, with the turret on the corner. There. There's a good look at it. Has an interesting shingle pattern too. All right, a bit more shelter under this tree. Briefly. They have a nice backyard, big one. Sure why these plants are covered, I presume to keep birds and things away from the cherries, it looks like. One more block and we'll be at my traditional stopping point, which is, appropriately enough, a stop sign. This is Leopold Crescent here. Again, so we went down that way to begin with. Oh, somebody told me the name of the movie that was shot here. Family Blessings, I think it was called, with Linda Carter. Many years ago now, was shot in this house and neighborhood. They were an extra in it, that's how they knew the name. I think it was Family Blessings. Sounds like a Hallmark special, and maybe it was, I don't know. Never saw it. Should look it up just to see what the neighborhood looked like at the time. I used to walk by when they were shooting it, so I was living over in Garnet Street. Fairly well sheltered under these trees for the moment. Alright, here's my stop sign, the corner of Angus Crescent. Having Tim's coffee while you watch me walk. Well, I'm going to have coffee when I get in, but it's not Tim's. It's Nevada. Alright, and here's our stopping point. So thanks for walking with me. Didn't expect to be walking in the rain, but that's the way it ended up. And I'll likely be back tomorrow. Bye for now.